Hello, survivors. I'm your host, King Dogspeed, and welcome to this episode of Kerbal Space Program. I am totally recording this part right now at the very end because I absolutely forgot to do it at the very beginning. But in this episode, I'm going to be showing how to do the Artemis II mission flight free return trajectory from Earth, Kerbin, to the moon and back. And the really important parts are the settings for Conic Patch and understanding ejection angles. We'll do both of that, and I will actually then demonstrate the entire mission. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. That's not the button. That's the button. So extended burn indicator. Yes, you want that. It provides a detailed countdown to the optimal start time rather than just the time until the node. Yes, ejection angle. Direction of travel. So the moon is traveling around Kerbin, around the Earth, in a counterclockwise fashion from this point of view. It is in fact traveling that way, forward. This is the back side of the moon, and this is the front side of the moon. And if you actually look at it enough, you might start memorizing what the moon looks like. Because the moon is tidally locked, it's actually pretty cool. Unlike other bodies, you can actually memorize which part is the front. This big crater right here, and this big crater right here, that is the front. You can see the line going through. It always faces that way when it goes around Kerbin or the Earth, always, which is really neat. That is not the case for other things, but the moon it is. So it makes it really easy. That's in fact the front. You could probably put like a building right here, and it will always be facing the direction that the moon is traveling. And there's a name for this place right here, the part that is at the very front. It's the ejection angle. So if you click right here, advanced orbital info, when your ship gets there, it will say 0 degrees. Like so. So when you get to the very front of the moon, that's called ejection angle 0. And when you get to the back side of the moon, it is 180. It's that simple. So that's the back side of the moon. That's the front side of the moon. The front part that it's traveling, ejection angle 0. And the back side, ejection angle 180. And the reason why this is important is because if you pass in front of it, then you will be slowing down. If you pass behind it, you will accelerate. And the reason is because the moon will push you or pull you in that, well, it will pull you in the direction that is retrograde or prograde from the point of view of Earth. What that means is if you prograde here, if you fire your engines here, you will leave Kerbin. If you fire your engines here in the front at ejection angle 0, you will go back to Kerbin. Why? Because it's like just being around Kerbin with no moon, just a spaceship, and you just going prograde or retrograde, which will make it so that your periapsis is going to fall, or the other side of your orbit altitude is going to go up or down. It's no different. But you do have to fire it here or here. So let's do an example right now. If you fire your engines when you're in front of the moon at ejection angle 0, you will go back to Kerbin. Whoa! You will go back to Kerbin like this. So normally you're like this, and then you will go back to Kerbin. That's what the free return trajectory is, essentially. Now you can adjust this a little bit to make it more efficient, but that's what the free return trajectory is. When you fire your rockets, it's going to essentially be a retrograde. That's how you go back to Kerbin. All you have to do is spin this around to the other side like this, and you will leave Kerbin. That's leaving. Now you can go to a different planet. Same amount of energy, same amount of fuel, same burn duration, everything. But the only thing you change is your position here or here. The reason why it's not exactly here is because the direction that your trajectory is going to be is kind of need to be curved a little bit because of the motion of the moon. That's why it's a little off, but it's pretty much that's what it pretty much is. right here or right here, behind the moon or in front of the moon. So these are size 2 tanks, especially that one, but especially that one right there. We're gonna need that. So this one, fuel systems, going to the moon. Can you do it without unlocking this? Yes, but like this is pretty much what they use to go to the moon IRL. So, you know, go for this one first. And propulsion, is this size 2? This is the size 2 large tanks. This one's good too. That one is. So that one, we'll need those. Always build top to bottom. So command pod, Mark III command pod. There we go. Make sure we have the crew. Let's have pilot here, scientist here, and then to assist this, I'm gonna have some onboard computing going on. Remote guidance unit. I'm gonna reduce the blader to maybe 80, something like that. Heat shield jettison stage. This is gonna take us to the moon and back. Let's use the Poodle engine because that is the size 2. And then we need to click this, Delta V, right here. Set that to vacuum. There we go. Awesome. Now, real important, right here on the bottom right, 2,383. That's our Delta V. That's how much fuel we have. That's how far it will take us. When you use chemical engines, which is what you normally do for almost everything in Kerbal Space Program, unfortunately, make sure that the number's around 2,000. If it's too much, just, what the crap? Why is there a reduced oxidizer here? If it's too much, go with a smaller tank or just have less fuel. Oh wow, look at that. See? I can reduce that much and still have about 2,000. So 2,000-ish is the sweet spot. You might be thinking, but why would I want to have less fuel? Because you can actually go farther if you don't. Total. The lower stages need to stress out less. We're at a really weird, awkward point here. I really need to put that much. Okay, let me put the other parts here. Let's do this. Oh, I don't actually need that. Let's 3, 2, 1, 6. We can do the 1, 6. And then let's put quad setting here. So that's going to be 2,523 meters per second. That is beyond overkill. This makes it 2 tons difference. So it's about 30 to 50 times the fuel necessary, meaning it shaves us about 60 tons total. Because every single ton you put on here, you need to have about 25 to 30 tons under this thing with more rockets and fuel to let it go into orbit. So every gram matters. Let's have a 2-stage system to get this into orbit. Let's use a orange tank with skipper, and we're going to change this Delta V to altitude 15 kilometers. Oh, look at that. 2,800 meters per second. That is way too much. Let's reduce that. 2,200, more than enough. So when you click this, the TWR says 1.67. That's really good. If it says 1.2, I'll be like, well, maybe. Hey, that might be okay, but it's a little low. Okay, let's do this. And then like that, SAS on, we're gonna click radio out, full throttle. 5, 4, 3, 2. Been a while since I did that. And release. So SAS hold 90 meters a second. So that's about 90 meters a second. I'm gonna start pushing W gently, and I want to stay within. You just need to hit prograde like this, and the hard part's over. That was the hardest part about this. We want to keep it at 1G to save fuel. So we have our main engine cutoff happening in like, what, 4 seconds or so? We want this apoapsis to be 100 kilometers-ish, deploying the solar panels and the antenna. So let's make a maneuver node right here. That makes it so that the apoapsis, or the apogee, extends to 11.4 megameters, which is 11.4 megameters, 11,400,000 meters. That's where the moon is. So The most important thing, I think, in doing all this is getting the conic patch setting right. Add maneuver, we're going to prograde, easy peasy. The reason why this is important is because if we don't have the conic patches actually showing this correctly, we won't be able to tell that it's cutting in front or back. So we're going to accelerate to about 3,100 something meters per second to get to 11.4 megameters where the moon is. Oh, that is so neat. That is so freaking neat. I totally thought we came in a little, like we didn't go deep into the atmosphere enough, but no, we are good. We're totally fine. Yeah, that's very nice. There we go. Okay, cool beans. Well, there you go. Local to body looks like this. I have the camera on my ship, which is also very important right now because these conic patches change depending on where your camera focus is. This is the first setting. This is what it looks like. Next, local at SOI Entry, let's go. There it is. We'll just cut to that to make it look like I know what I'm talking about. The conic patch shows starting at the SOI Entry instead of at showing over the moon right now. And that's important because it shows that we are going to pass really close to ejection angle 0 in front of it. It looks like the moon is going in this direction. We're going to cut right in front of it is what it looks like. However, that completely changes when we go to local at SOI Entry. Now look at this. We're going to travel ahead first, but then once we go into the moon's sphere of influence, we're actually going to be above, away from Kerbin. That's a completely different angle because earlier on, it was showing that it's going to be almost perpendicular. It was showing like this, but now you'll see that this is a simulated moon. It's a future moon. This is the current moon's position. Now with this setting, it simulates the moon's position of where it's going to be by the time we get there. That's very different. And the reason why it's different is because the angle is going to be completely different. We're going to not be really in front of it. We will be at first, but later on, like 80 or something like that, not 10. That is hugely different. So next, local at SOI exit accept. Oh my God, it means that the moon, when we leave the sphere of influence of the moon, will be here. That is not helpful because that doesn't show if we're going to be cutting in front of the moon or not. Next, this one is going to be relative, accept. So this one is going to, like this one is even less useful, right? But I think this is the default. I think this is what the default is going to be like. This looks like we're going to cut behind the moon. It looks like we're going to get accelerated, which is not what's going to happen at all. Meaning this is not an accurate representation of what the ejection angle of the periapsis of the moon is going to be. Next, dynamic, accept. In terms of calculating a gravity slingshot, and what really matters is if you're going to be behind the moon or in front of the moon, this does not tell you anything. The one that we need is local at SOI Entry, and here's why. Local to body right now, it will show you the conic patch on the body, moon, relative to the moon's position right now. So it draws the conic patch on the moon right now. That's not what I personally want. I need to know the trajectory, the ejection angle path that we're going to have when we get there. SOI Entry, because then the moon graphic stays the same here, but we have a future simulation moon. This one right here, because it doesn't really matter to body right now. That won't be the correct angle. In fact, this line is going to be more towards to the right. It's going to look like this. This yellow line right here, the moon's yellow line, is actually going to be more like this. And the moon is going to be rotated more about what, 40 degrees or so? This part right here, this big crater, is supposed to be facing to the left. That's what it's going to be right now. I promise you. Check this out. See? Because it rotates to the left by the time the ship passes. Radio out, full throttle, showing TWR. 5, 4, 3, 2. Release. Oh, this is gonna be easy peasy. So yeah, the next thing to do is to hold SAS here and wait until it's 90 meters a second. I'm gonna just click Q and roll. So our heading is 90. Cool. And we're pitching 10 degrees. Cool beans. Now that we're at 10 degrees, let's just lock this prograde in. Cool. Awesome. Next thing that's going to happen is max Q at about 340 meters a second. We should start seeing the vapor cones on the ship too. I probably, let me do this. Let me do this. Make it look cool later. Aim camera. There we go. Okay. 320, 330. I'm throttling down to 1G right here. Until we get to 15 kilometers altitude. That should be good enough. Okay. Cool beans. Still a little shallow, but I think it'll be okay. Usually, I want to be at about 20 kilometers altitude when I'm at 45 degrees pitch, but we should be fine. We have main engine cutout coming up in 17 seconds. This time I have the camera set up so we can see the separation all clean and everything. Two, one, and release. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, look at that. That never gets old for me. I'm just saying. Look at that. That is so cool. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Nice. Nice, nice. Let's go for 100 kilometers apoapsis. Looks like Buck Rogers falling to Earth. I'll take your word for it. I've never seen the show. I know that the show exists, but I think that was a little bit before my time. Mine was Viper. Was Viper related to Knight Rider? I actually don't know if they were. I know there was also another show called Team Knight Rider, by the way. I never watched that. So yeah, we're just coasting until we get to 100 kilometers. And then once we do, we will do a orbital injection burn. Prograde here, and we're throttling up until this periapsis becomes 100, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, close enough. Cool beans. Viper was not related. Okay, that makes sense. Cool beans, cool beans. Okay, so yeah, I'll actually do a calculation. Set as target, and then add maneuver. Oh, let's make sure our Conic Patch setting is correct. That because I messed with it a lot. Local to body. Local at SOI Entry. There we go. That's very, very important. All right, prograde. Cool. So let's change the timing a little bit. Yep. Nice. Nice. Look at that. Very cool. Just need to lower it a little bit more, so prograde, and that is it. Let's get that down to what, 35 this time? Just a little scary, but there it is. All right, that's it. Set to maneuver. Yeah, it's that easy. Because now we can see that we'll enter here. The moon will actually be here later. And we'll be passing in front of it and behind it and around. Very good. Yeah, that's really cool. I've never done a side-by-side. This setting makes it look like this. This setting makes it look like this. I should have made a video like that a long time ago. I don't know why I never... It's because lately I'm more thinking, hey, I should make a video and pass on this info. Before I was like, I'll just live stream more often, but I'm changing my tune on that lately. Cool. Very cool. Uh-huh. So I'm gonna right click this periapsis right here and get that down to 45. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was a little too much. Hold on. We can unfuck that. No problem. I'm just gonna retrograde. We just undo what we did a little bit. 28, 35, there we go. Boom, 37, good enough. That's it. Oh, whoops, I was supposed to stage this. That's why I was having trouble controlling it. Haha. Yeah, number 1 button. I totally know what I'm doing. It's awesome. We're gonna be able to just do a free return trajectory, which is the whole point. If we have an engine failure along the way, it's like, oh my God, the engine's broke right now and we're already leaving Earth. We're leaving Kerbin. Holy crap, what are we gonna do? That's what the free return trajectory is. It's so that even if the engine breaks, we'll still fly back to Earth. That's the whole point of this. Which is pretty much what happened in Apollo 13. So don't have to do anything. We're just gonna swing around the moon like this, and the moon is gonna slow us down. We're actually speeding up the moon when we do this a little bit. Like a little bit. The moon goes a little bit faster when we do this. Permanently. And that's it. Then we get to splash down. Easy peasy. There we go. And it's gonna be daytime. Are we actually gonna... Oh. Are we gonna actually land in the Pacific maybe? Kind of? No, this is definitely gonna be the Atlantic. Oh well. Or whatever this is supposed to be. Okay, oh, I better stage. I better stage. Okay. Cool. That was cool. Kerblantic Rim. Ooh. I was really nervous to watch anything Artemis, but I did watch the splashdown, re-entry and splashdown and everything, which was really cool. Oh my God. Are we actually gonna... Fuck. Whoops. This is a splashdown. Yeah, it's gonna be great. This is a perfect splashdown. Indeed it is. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. This'll be fine, I'm sure. I'm sure this is fine. Watching the parachutes deploy was pretty stressful, I think. Personally. I'm glad everything went okay. All right, there you go. So yeah, I hope I explained the ejection angle and the Conic Patch well enough. But yeah, that's how they did it. That's how they did it. And if anybody has, I guess, if anybody wants to know like more in detail how the ejection angle works, how to come back from the moon, if anybody is interested, I'll probably make a video if anybody asks, or any part of the launch or anything like that. But I think that will do for now. I think I covered everything. I think. So yeah, that's the free return trajectory. And don't forget to change your Conic Patch setting to SOI Entry is what I would recommend. And maybe Conic Patch to 3 or 4 or 5 might be cool. You don't have to, but 3 will be very beneficial. And I think that's about it. So I'm gonna get to editing of this. That was, oh my god, that was 2 hours. I was expecting to. Never mind. That I always say that. I guess I'm gonna get to editing. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna get to editing. So thank you very much for watching. I'm your host, King Dogspeed, and I'll see you next time. Dogspeed, everyone.